we're gonna play Leo's favorite song. Well, he's got a lot of favorite songs. This is not Leo's favorite song, so don't put that on the record. But I think this will be a good song to intro into it. Try that. So, hi.
Yeah, I do have an intro song already. I already have an intro tune.
I don't know, but that's my own intro. Jamie showed me some Grizz this
Oh, that
weekend.
was Grizz.
Jamie was in town.
I
And
remember. I
I'm just,
remember from
I'm
the
just trying
wedding.
to think of like, where am I gonna drive to right now? I think I'm gonna drive to the silos. That's where I'm gonna park, and that's gonna be. Then we can keep talking about them there. But yeah, I literally didn't get out the door until like 10:30 today with Leo, and I think this is gonna be like one of the last kind of like, well, I was about to say this is gonna be one of the last kind of like chaotic weeks, which is just the most not true statement ever. But I think this week this is the last week our before Courtney starts going back to work part time, and our nanny starts. So she starts next week, which means basically it'll just help get us out the door earlier. Somebody to take, kind of have the twins and all that stuff. So this will all be good. Uh, but the goal that one thing about goals is that you have to have them written and put them on the wall or something, to something that you can see.
No, for sure. That's definitely a mistake I made this year.
Because on my bathroom mirror, it's had it up there. I mean, this is a sticky note that's at least like 2 to 3 years old. It says Courtney will have a part-time job by 2025. So like she won't have to like have a full gig, so she can spend more time with.
Love it. I was actually looking for. I think it's I got a new laptop. It's lost all my stuff. I made. We were doing one of these before, and I never actually typed out the goals from Thanksgiving, which this year I may take it upon myself to type out all the goals, but definitely for me at least, I'll type out the goals and everything for Thanksgiving instead of having it on a piece of paper, which is obviously over the course of a year going to get lost.
You're taking the minutes.
Yeah, I could take the minutes, in a sense. And um, so I was looking for like formats of goals, and um, I remember the book that you had me read. I can't remember, like the Tribe of Millionaires, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm trying to think of a goal sheet like that. Um,
I'm sorry. We're just running with a blank slate right here.
yeah, next day.
Okay. Well,
So,
uh, so for Oak, I and basically I'm the person who is in charge of like everybody like providing their goals. So like I sent an email like 2 nights ago to everybody saying like, hey, I need your goals by October 1, because Oak started October 1, so we kind of like use that as our reset for the year. I think it's when we
yeah.
do our annual planning and all that stuff. So I can pull that up.
Something that I got pulled up is like um, short term, medium term, long term goals, social, family, health, career, financial, learning, and character. Um, then I added a 6 month goal, made short term to 1 year, medium term to 5, long term to 10. Um, Obviously, break that down further, probably do monthly goals. Seems like a good time to like sit and reflect again. That I need to do that again, to be honest.
You know, Yom Kippur. That was the time to do it. I took the day off and like tried to do some reflecting. I just think about the like just what's happened since the beginning of the year. And I pulled out my phone because I can't remember shit. So I was like looking at my phone pictures to kind of help me like jog my memory of like what even happened this year. And the reason I say that is because you were living at my house at the beginning of this year,
That's true.
like in January.
Yeah,
You're at my house, so I think we can start from that spot of because like everything that you just said right there, like of like things you had written down. That's a lot. You had a lot written down right there, and the more I just think the more that you just have, the more you put on your plate, the lower the odds are that you're gonna like even keep track of it and do it. And it's just keep just keep it a little bit more simple. Like, what's one or two things that you could really hone in on this year? Your uh, North Star, your mantra, whatever it is. And maybe we use this time to figure out what that even is. But like the whole short term, long term, mid term, you can drive what that's going to be from just picking the one or two things that you really want to focus on. There's a lot went down this year, so it's like you're living at the house, lost a job, you're grinding to find a new job, started to do the podcasting, found a new job, moved to Chicago, lived in Austin for a little bit. So it's like, is there anything that you like learned about yourself during that time?
I'm sure there is. This thought pops in my head. I feel like this is already be a good episode to post. It's like goal planning, and then we could do another one of like goal reflection. Um, I feel like these episodes with you and Jamie have like the most value for like if someone. It's funny because these are the ones that no one listens to, but not that the other ones get a ton of listeners, but like these ones get none because there's just no name value there. But like definitely the most like self improvement value episodes. It's funny, but I'm sure there is something I've learned about myself. I'm trying to think of what that could be. My mind kind of goes to break it down in buckets, and it's like I think I've learned more about what I like and don't like in business and career. Um, and starting to go towards a path as far as a 9 to 5 goes. So I'm still learning more about myself as when I start thinking about other categories of life. About the podcast, like the way that the idea has grown. I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be my ticket out the 9 to 5. This is the dream. Again, still a dream to like be able to make a ton of money and talk to people. It's just not the way. It's just not what that's gonna be. Um, Ironically, I think it's really only going to. I gotta work on it every day still, or every week. Definitely falling off. Again, this past month, kind of feel like I fell off everything, but I think I've learned like the podcast isn't the way out. It's not. This is not what it is. The way to freedom. It's like ironically, it's something that once I am financially free, it's something that could just take things to the next level and it could start making money then, ironically. But that just does seem to be the case. And especially because like I don't want to niche down. It's just not who I am. I guess that's something I've learned about myself. Is that like I have zero desire to niche down in this pod. Like, and even when I try, it's just fucking difficult to get the guest on in that order. Like it's extremely difficult to get all the correct guests in a certain niche in a timely period. Um, and I don't want to fucking pass on a guest that I find interesting and want to talk to and want to build a relationship with just because, oh, well, I'm not focused on that niche right now. It's dumb, in my opinion. And it defeats the whole point. It defeats the whole point of why I want to do this. Um, I want to talk to people that I'm interested in, and that spans a vast genre of things. And then, like,
So
socially, I don't really think I need to learn much about myself socially. I have a ton of great friends. As Bryce would call them, tier one friends. I have tier one friends and tier two friends and tier three. Like I'm good. I'm good. I've that part of the game. I get. I'm somebody's best man, and coming up here soon, I'm standing at a handful of weddings and just continue to be a good friend. You know, never struggle with that. Dating wise, I don't really know what I want. You know, whenever I'm around you and Jamie, I want a girlfriend. I want the wife, and I want the kids. And eventually, I'm pretty sure I do want kids. But then I start dating people, and I'm just like, I have zero desire to, not zero, but I don't have this strong desire to actually do the whole dating thing. Like I'm going on dates now, as I've been on Hinge for a few months, so you get to start to rack up dates, and I just really don't. That part of life doesn't really intrigue me, and I don't know. Maybe that's because I want to get my finances in order first, but you know, that could take years. So I don't know. That's kind of what my mind went to when thinking about what have I learned this year.
I'm gonna pivot back to the business stuff because yeah, I mean yeah, you've never struggled you've never struggled with the friend thing, and honestly, something I've learned is that like you only like it's obviously good to have friends. I'm glad I have lots of friends, but it's like you don't. The older you get, like you just need you don't need more friends. You just need to like have your close like tier one friends that you can always rely on and build on those relationships. You don't need to like add on a bunch more friends. For me, it's like okay, make I'm making business friends, like people I'm friendly with in business and all that stuff. But like my childhood friends, like I'm lucky enough to have those guys in my life still, and you learn which ones you want to keep talking to, which ones you don't. But so with the whole financial freedom thing, it's not the podcast. That's good that you're like you have that self awareness or whatever it is. But what do you have any idea what it's gonna be or what you want it to be? Like, is it still this stock thing or is it still like what?
Well, I'm talking with Jamie later today. I don't really know what I want it to be.
Well, what are the non-negotiables? Like you're learning what you like and what you don't like. Like what's something that you just like can't do?
I gotta be able to travel. I gotta be able to go where I want. I don't want to be locked. I don't want to be landlocked somewhere. Which I mean, that so like the Jamie thing appeals to me, and that's always my problem with real estate is I'll be landlocked somewhere. It's like the main reason I haven't wanted to like go into business with you or Jamie, but I talked with Jamie later today and like seeing what his business is about, and I I know both you and him are going to be very rich peoples, and as I've got into sales, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. Like, I'm not at the end of the day. It's like I have to find a way out of this. Like I was with accounting. Like I was just like going through school and accounting. This is the worst thing I've ever done in my life. Maybe just working with Jamie and just learning that and just building that cash flow. That could be the route and building the sales skill because I think I've accepted that like, I'm just not gonna love what I do. I've never have even like in school. There was like I mean I guess I liked math, but like there was never really anything like, oh yeah, I fucking love this, and that's okay. It's work. I don't think I'm necessarily supposed to love work, but yeah, I don't hate sales, and Jamie's building something where I won't be landlocked. I get to do real estate, which I don't really care about, but you and Jamie do it, so like that's really cool for me. Like that's something for me. It's like that's cool that I can do this with you guys. Then like 9 to 5 as well. It's like I'd like to get into a different industry than staffing that I'm in right now, which I know I can. It's actually I look at my resume and I'm frustrated to thinking like this is ridiculous that I can't find someone to give me. I know I will find someone to give me a shot. But like it reminds me of college of the only job offers I could get just were shit, and then eventually I got that one from Grant Thornton. That was like, thank you. Like this was the offer I was looking for. So the short term, I'd like to get into like if not the VCP sales world, at least into like accounting advisory sales, like a consultant accounting advisory type sales work, business development work there, and do that for a couple of years and a year or whatever, and get to Grant Thornton or Grant Thornton type and do it for them. And then at that point, I'll be making good money and can put things aside to throw at the big projects, to throw at the you know the entitlement processes or the development processes, or throw tens of thousands at Jamie's business, or like just those type of things. So I guess those are the two routes in mind at the moment: the 9 to 5 route and the outside the 9 to 5 route.
I think any sales job like 9 to 5 thing is going to be like somewhat difficult to really thrive in when you're fully remote, and that's just my opinion. And I think people are learning that with COVID and people working remote. And now all these companies making people come back because people guys aren't productive when they're at their house all day, especially
100%.
especially young people who have not built that foundation for themselves. And that's you. I mean, like you graduated college, you got a job. You didn't get a sales. You just had a job where you were traveling, but you were at least around. You're around people that were doing, that were helping you and doing stuff. And then all of a sudden, COVID hit. You were remote, and then you got the sales remote. It's like it's just
100%.
so. I mean, that's something that just have to be very just honest with yourself about. It's like you're actually never going to really be good at it and make a lot of money unless you just like, you know what, if I'm gonna be a VC guy and I'm gonna move to Austin or wherever the fuck you're gonna move to be that, like, so it's like the whole landlocked thing. It's like it's just gonna be really hard to make lots of money as a 9 to 5. Like if found a, that's where it's like, if you start some little side gig or you're, and I'm just hypothetically, don't take this as like I'm telling you what to do. It's like a hypothetical. It's like if you were like buying and selling stuff on Amazon, you're just kind of working on your computer and doing random stuff. Like you honestly have a greater chance of making high income off of that than a remote sales job. I mean, that's because it's just, if you're not in the office grinding with other people who have the same goals and energy, you're just putting yourself, you're already in a hole that's gonna be hard to get out of. What, yeah. And we're in the time of like the market and just like history that it's not easy to get shit done. Like things are gonna get harder and harder to do. Like I have a feeling I'm gonna start seeing a lot of brokers disappear. Maybe not a lot, but like there's gonna be some brokers who like they're just not gonna become broker. They're gonna quit. And fine by me. I don't care because I've got my mission. I'm doing stuff. So, um, just having the honest conversations with yourself, like on those things. Um, and then with the Jamie thing, I'm just like driving around aimlessly, and this is I feel like I'm gonna end up finding a deal this way somehow. I always find random things when I get lost, but I'm really lost. But with the Jamie thing is, I am supportive of that, and the thing to remember is that like that is really like, and you already know this, but it's not sexy. Like you need to be very very disciplined and just do the daily work. Yeah, that's the key. That's what's hard about working from home. That's what's hard about being remote. Just the only person to keep yourself accountable is you. Like there's no, it's like so it's easy to skip a day and go run 10 miles and not really work and just kind of make excuses. And I mean that making the big money is just it's only going to come from consistent action and just picking something that you're going to commit to, even though it's not sexy. And I think the biggest thing that I'm hearing right now is that you're coming to terms like, you know what, I'm not going to love whatever it is I do. Because maybe the thing that you love to do is like the podcast stuff and all that things. They're like, that's just not going to be your path to your financial freedom. And that's all good. And it's good that you're, you know, understanding that about yourself. Uh, but now it's just like, okay, I just think the next move that you make just really needs to be thoughtful and because you don't want to. It's just like because every move takes energy. Like every time you get a new job or start a new thing, that takes a lot of energy to to go and do, and it just so anyway, and then sorry, the last thing I was thinking about was that you do. Like family is very important to you, and is like being involved and interacting with the family. Like you enjoy that. So Jamie's thing does make sense in a lot of things, but I think to realize it's just not sexy. It's not like you're gonna like make a bunch of money right away. It's like a slow grind, and like you're just gonna have to. I mean, you're gonna have to make lots of, field lots of calls, do just lots of. I mean, it's just one of the things you just have
I
to
mean,
really
it's
do.
good.
But I know you can do it because I saw what happened when you fucking when you lost your job at my house. I
I mean,
saw I saw what happened. Like it's like it's just like a switch turned on, and you're like, holy shit! Like you were grinding for a month straight, and I loved it, to be honest. That moment right there was like, holy shit! I really like Troy's. I was like, Troy is gonna be good. Like no matter what he does, he's gonna be good because like you have that motor inside you. And I really haven't seen that motor since, at least with like like when you got the new job and stuff. It's like,
well,
uh,
I had it for a few weeks, and then just working like that is impossible to maintain, especially when there's no success. And like last month, I mean, a little less than last month maybe, but like I've definitely fell off. Uh, Work ethic of every sort. And now I'm sick of shit. And now it's like, of course, but like I think it's part of the problem. Like I need to get out of this job. Is like I've seen no success, and like every time I get success, that it's every time I get a new contact, like one of the big four accounting firms, for example, I fucking was the one calling, making cold calls, and I got the contact that we needed to get, and it gets swiped. And it's like, oh, sorry, dude. I reached out to this company before, so technically it's my territory, it's my company. Sorry.
well,
And it's like,
okay. So that I
it's
think you
like
gotta change. I think you gotta
I think
change your.
that
Yeah, yeah.
I
That
think
that
that was
makes
the
sense.
moment where I was like, I'm done. Like I just can't do it with this company anymore. And I like the people. I'm like, but like the staffing industry and busting my
Well, yeah.
tail
I,
forever.
I think I
It
told,
is
I think I told you
yeah.
that the staffing industry. the worst. I hate that industry. That was my first job.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. No,
but
I
I think
wasn't excited to.
I think you gotta change the language a little bit. Okay, it's like because you're saying like it's really when you have no success it's impossible. Like because like I'm gonna say I'm just gonna stop you right there. It's like I had no success for fucking 2 years. I had zero. I had very. I mean, I guess it depends. Like it defines what success is. Like I made no money for 2 years, and like yes, did I have weeks and like a month where I just like kind of fell off and I wasn't being my best self, and of course I did. But the key is getting back on and getting back at it. Like this week has not been a great week for me productively, but it's like I'm going to, it's like I've been doing this for 6+ years. So it's like it's like I am going to get back. For me, the key is like with everybody, is consistency, but don't don't have 2 bad days in a row. I mean, it's such an important thing. But anyways, so I just think that language is not the correct language because it's like just because you don't have success for 6 months doesn't mean it's impossible. Because everything that is really like great things like are just really hard to achieve. Great things take time. So like no matter what it is, like it's going to take years and years to create success. Jamie's been doing this fucking land thing for almost 4 years, and he finally was able to quit his job. Like, and basically his company forced his hand because, like, hey, what are you gonna do, this or that? He's like, shit. Well, I guess I'm gonna do this, which he was trying to, he had to get pushed off the ledge to go do it, but like he'd tell you he's glad he did it. So it's just like that's where it's if you like what you do, it helps. Or if you just have that mission in mind, it's really gonna help because it's gonna keep you going when you have the shitty 4 months in a row. You're like, fuck, what am I doing? And it's like, well, you still
Yeah.
have that North Star of like, okay. And for you, it's maybe is not the career. It is like I want to be able to do whatever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want. So how am I going to get there? And the only way to get there is by choosing something and sticking with it for many, many years. Like that is just that's just reality. It's just that's like as I think Trevor like say, that's just facts. That's
It's
just
just
fucking
that.
facts. It's just fucking facts. There's
No, I agree. I agree with what you're
no,
saying.
no, yeah. So I think that I just we just have that mindset piece. Just like it's just gotta because I know maybe you're not meaning when you to say that like he's not
No,
mean to
I agree. I agree with what you're saying. What popped in my head is like when you were talking, it was like I didn't have success for 2 years. Like, well, yeah, but you had a vision. Like you had your North Star. You had a goal. Like,
well, it's just the understanding that no matter what you choose, it is going to take time. And I think what you are coming to terms with is that I'm probably not going to be the guy who fucking loves my job, but that's not for everybody. Obviously, like there are people who love what they do, like what they do, and that's totally a thing. So if there's ever like that one or two people who are actually like listening to this thing, just so everybody knows, like that's not the case for like there definitely are ways to make money, make lots of money, and like
well, yeah, until
slash.
you love what you do.
So it's like, but there's the thing is like you're not always going to like it. You're not always going to love it. Like there are times where I fucking like really love all the aspects of what I do. No, like, do I love being a broker? No, I mean, when I make a big check, I do. But when I go 9 months and don't make any money, no, I don't really love it, and I um have to deal with partners and things that I don't want to, and then there's just like, but it's like you said, yes, I do have a vision. So it's like I'm doing this because I know it's going to get me to there. But it's also just having that self belief and that confidence that like even though you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, it's still down there. I'm just pretty deep in the tunnel still. So um okay, with all that, um to get back into our goals, like what what does a successful 2024 look like when it's Thanksgiving Christmas, whatever, next year, like what, and you look back at your year, man, I was like, that was a successful year. It doesn't have to be business; it just can be all encompassing. Like it's like, man, I went on a couple of trips or whatever. What do you have any idea of what a strong 2024 looks like? What a in terms of like who Troy has evolved into and what's happening around him? Can I share what I sent to the Oak team?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
So, and like we can try and translate this into more of like your personal situation, but like for this, so here's the questions I asked. Who are your top 3 to 5 clients you're going to focus on in 2024? What sector, in parentheses, product area, close parentheses, do you want to focus on? And how do you plan to make an impact in that sector? And that's like, do you want, it's like, are you going to focus on multifamily, industrial, or office, retail? Like what's going to, it's like, are you going to focus on retail in the urban core or industrial in, Sarpy County, whatever it is? Hopefully that makes sense. And then next one is what education or opportunities do you plan to complete or attend? Like you're going to go to like a multifamily conference this year or get your CCIM certificate or whatever it is. Next one is what civic involvement do you plan to get involved in? Next one is what do you need to do to be successful in 2024? And I think that question it's pretty broad. So that's probably just one that kind of like whatever pops in your head. But like, for me, one of the things would be like just to continue to just be in action, just take action and not overthink, like keep it simple. Like that's kind of one of my themes for next year is just like keep it simple, because like a confused mind doesn't go far. And when you have some clarity and a plan, it just helps you take action. Like something Jamie and I just talked about today was he called me, he's kind of stressed out about something, and he's like, I don't know what to do. And this is like in terms of like just with like his current like just like finances and like different things, and like he has like a big expense payment. And I'm like, dude, we talk about this all the time now. It's like when you have anxiety, take action. When you're stressed and you don't know what to do, like just take action. Just do something towards that stress. And that's how you beat stress. And I can't remember who said that, like out of like the, different people that we listen to or like what story I heard, but like that's so anywho, what do you need to do to be successful in 2024? And it probably is like, what is one thing you need to do to be successful in 2024? Then the next one is what does success look like to you in 2024? And the last one is what's your BHAG, your big, hairy, audacious goal? And we stole that from our last company. So that's like one of the things like, what's like your big goal? So, and this is like 5 years from now or 10 years from now, but like what is the BHAG that you're working towards? And for light, our BHAG that like our mission that we're chasing is we want to go build 1,000 units by 2030. That's our BHAG. Like let's go build 1,000 units. And it doesn't need to be all apartments or all townhomes or all tiny homes or whatever it is, but like go build 1,000 residential units by 2030. And we are working on a plan to do that. But that's for light. My oak one, I don't even know what my oak one is yet. So, and my personal one, I don't know what that one is yet, like in terms of my personal life. So, those are it. To clear. So, I don't know if you got those, but it's like, to kind of work back down that. So, like, to translate it into Troy's life, so your top 3 to 5 clients to focus on in 2024. So, who are your top 3 people that you want to like focus on or build your rapport, or build relationship with in 2024? It could be so 3 to 5, and because all of life is really about your relationships, and it's very who you decide to spend your time with and build rapport with and build relationships with is going to change your life. So that's why that is important. And this is kind of relevant to what we've been talking about. Like, but what sector do you plan to focus on? So like basically what yeah. It's like, so are you gonna focus with Jamie's land thing? Are you gonna focus on VC like that? And that will have might still that still needs to play itself out.
That part of this whole thing gives me stress. Where it's like, what do you need to focus on? I even came across a old document when I was looking for my goals. I didn't open it, so I don't even know what I wrote up top yet. I need to look at that for sure before finalizing goals. But it was like Troy's top 25 goals. Because I saw a Warren Buffett quote. It says, what you need to do is write down your top 25 goals, like things you want to do, and
Yeah,
then
like three.
focus on the first three and forget everything else. Um, that part's stressing me out now because like my North Star is, as you said, like I just want to be able to do whatever I want to do, whatever I want to do. It's really just be rich. That's what being rich is. Like just having
Well,
a shit ton of money.
that's not true.
And
That's not true. That's not
that,
what
I
being
mean, that's what I want. I want the ability to do whatever I want, whenever I want, which in the real world means be a rich person. Like that. I mean, that's just is what it is. Um,
well, I mean, but the thing is, like, I know plenty of rich guys who can't do whatever they want whenever they want because they're stuck to whatever it is they're doing, like, or they've created, or their mindset's just so fucked up that like, they think they're stuck. So it's like,
I
it's
get what you're saying. If I
but
hit the lotto tomorrow and I had $100 million in cash, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like,
but the thing is that
um,
my whole thing is, dude, like that. That's still I hate that fucking language because that's like I hate when mom's like, "Oh, I just gotta win the lottery. Can't wait till I win the lottery." I know she's just joking, but it's like literally like she's serious. Like that's like one of her plans. Like that's like it's like a fucking thing. It's like that's why people go and buy their lottery tickets. Like, dude, whatever it doesn't. It's like yes, obviously you want to do whatever it is you want to do. But it's like it's never going to happen until you just pick something and fucking give your
I get
life
it.
to it for the next few years and like
I get it.
for the next 5 years. So
I get it.
yes, but it's just like um if there's one thing that I'm really gonna challenge you on, and I know you don't fucking believe in it all the time, but it's like, dude, hone in on some mindset shit. Like, pick your person, whether it's Jesse Itzler or fucking Ed Milet or whoever it is.
Dude,
Fucking
I
study.
believe in that stuff. I believe in that stuff. My mindset's not as bad as it's coming off, I suppose, because it's apparently it's coming off pretty bad. I believe in that stuff, but I also just get sick of it because sometimes I'm just like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, not you. I mean, sometimes you, but like the
Well, it's
Jesse
like,
Itzer stuff.
but it's take,
Sometimes I'm
it
just
take,
like,
but
dude,
it's like, take, but like you
shut the
don't.
fuck up. Like it's always coming from these. It's this stuff. It's the rich people love to say money doesn't matter. Good looking people love to say looks don't matter. Like it's all that, and it's just like, of course, all that matters. And I get it. I agree with the mindset stuff. I really do. 100%. I agree with it. But
But I'm just saying, like, just like I mean, I lived with you. I lived with you for fucking 4 months, and it's like, dude, like I know you agree with it, but like the one reason, there's one reason that I was able to basically grind out 3 years straight with very little like reward. And that's because I had a fucking mindset and I fucking brainwashed my mind with just like the right shit and the positive stuff. And like, yeah, like I do get sick. Like I honestly don't listen to, I haven't listened to like a lot of the mindset stuff in a while, like for months and months and months. Cause I also, like, it's just like, it's regurgitated. Like you hear it over and over again. Like, but it's like,
and I've reread stuff that I like this year. I like this subtle art of not giving a shit. I like that one. I reread it. I don't think that's the answer. I really don't. Like it's just not the answer, dude. Like you can't just read a mindset book and then, yep, I got it. Like I
well,
know what I
I'm
want.
not saying
Like,
books.
I
I'm
just
just,
my issue is that to get back to what I was saying, like we were like the top 3 5 clients, right? Like that's like what do you want to focus on? Like, that's what we were talking about.
let's get back to that. Let's get back
My
to that.
issue is I don't fucking know. And that's been the issue for a long time. It's like, yeah, I want to focus on the podcast. At the same time, I want to get rich. I want to make money because that's what freedom is. And this just isn't going to be that most likely. And especially like for it to be that, for it to become that, I need to start putting in $500 a month. And for a little bit, I was. But like, I got to put in $500 a month to really make it that. And that's going to be over years. And okay, well, shit, dude, now I got to make more money in the meantime. So like, it's just, that's just like not going to
Well,
be
let's say
it.
so okay, so you've identified
And
that. You've identified that. Like that's not going to be it. So
yeah,
take it off the fucking list. Take it off the
but I
fucking.
want to keep doing it. That's the thing. That's something I'm going to keep doing.
It's your creative bone. It's like there's like somebody who said like, hey, and first of all, to wrap up the whole mindset thing, I'm not saying go fucking read books. Like, dude, fucking when you wake up in the morning, say a little fucking affirmation to yourself. Read or just listen to a goddamn YouTube thing for fucking 2 minutes. Like just get your fucking mind right when you go into every day. That's it. So anyways, so it's like a good thing I heard once. And it's like, hey, you need to have you need to have 3 hobbies. One that keeps you in shape, one that keeps you creative, and one that makes you money. And that that money one is like your job probably. So it's like hey, it's okay. The podcast is your creative bone. That's your creative hobby. And if it turns into something more, great. If not, great. It's your creative hobby. It's to keep your fucking spirit and your mind sharp. That's what it is. You are getting in a running. You like to work out. So I'm not really too like working out. When you're not working out, you're not your best self. And you've identified that a long time ago. So it's like you're gonna be working out. So you need to find that hobby of like, okay, like what is it gonna be? Like that that's the so you've identified it's not podcasting, so don't worry about it. So the top 3 to 5 clients, that's not you can't figure that out until you figure out the next question is what is your sector? Like what are you going to focus on? What's your sector going to focus on and how do you plan to make an impact in that sector? That's what you need to find out. And it's only September 27th or whatever date it is. You have 3 months to go figure it out. And that is enough time to make a plan and to figure it out. So that's why you have to start thinking about this stuff in October because it's like, hey, like you need to have that time to gear up for the new year. You need Q4 to gear up for Q1 of next year. So when you have anxiety and stress around something, you take action, and that's how you beat it. That's how you counter it. And that's a fucking fact. That's how it works. So just sit down. You've got options. Like you're talking to Jamie today. Like if it's like, pick your 3 to 4, things that you're like, okay, you threw podcasts out the window because that's your creative hobby. You don't have to worry about it anymore. Quit putting that stress and, like, don't worry about me putting a pressure or whoever it is. Like, you don't have to worry about it. It's not a moneymaker. Just, you find interesting people to talk to. Say, hey, you want to hop on the pod? That's all it is. So now it's like, okay, you got Jamie, you got the VC thing, you got the Grant Thornton thing or whatever, it's like, those are kind of the things you're thinking about constantly. So it's like, just, you got to pick one of them. And it's like,
well, I got it. It's got to be 2 of them. Like it doesn't
because
necessarily be
Jay's thing won't be the whole, yeah. So I get it. So it's like, or it's either like, I mean, if you can milk this current job to where like I feel like you don't really do that much anyways. I mean, like, we probably work like half days.
Yeah, lately for sure. But like,
so
I don't want to just like the reason I'm milking this current job is I'm fucking taking so much time to try and find another job and putting that energy into podcasting and like trying to get guests on that. And honestly, I hit a burnout point. I don't remember the exact day, but I definitely hit a burnout point with this job. And it was like the second or third time I finally bagged a big client and just like, nope. And like, dude, I'm done. Like, I'm just like,
yeah. And that's,
and all it's okay because I don't want to be in this industry.
That's okay.
I've zero desire to be in this industry. It was always a stepping stone.
Yeah. So that's yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's fine. That's fine. So, yeah, it's you know what? So, I think the big thing is just like giving yourself permission and just giving yourself like a break. Like, hey, dude, you're not going to be. I don't know if it's permission. It's just like you're not gonna be rich for a little bit. It's just like, hey, sorry, you're not gonna be rich for a little bit. Like, and there's many reasons why, but you're not going to be. So it's like if you, I truly think, like, if you have to take a step back in salary to get more into the thing you want to do, then really fucking think about that. Because, I mean, I cut my salary in half when I was 20 fucking 5 years old, 26 years old to get into what I wanted to get into. And it was the best decision I made. And it's like, I know you want to keep, like, you have, like, you kind of, like, were cursed a little bit because, like, you had this, like, CPA job that, like, automatically got you, like, a decent salary job right off the bat. And it kind of golden handcuffed you. Where it's like, oh, shit, well, now I don't want to take a step back. It's like, dude, I was making, because I took a step back to get my foot in the door. So it's like, that's a real thing. The universe isn't just going to give you the perfect thing. So it's like, just really have to think about that. And just really, like, have these truthful, more of these, like, being a truth teller to yourself, like, man, this is just reality. Not saying that you can't get the cool VC job, but it's just like if that opportunity arises, like, really give it an opportunity. Like, you don't have a lot of expenses right now. Your freedom is going to come to wherever you put your energy to. You've already, it's like you already pushed the podcast aside, so it's like that's not it. So you're gonna find your thing. You got 3 months to figure it out, and just take a lot of action because I know you're a fucking action taker because I fucking saw it. I fucking saw that you're an action taker. So, maybe just press pause on the podcast stuff for a while. Like, stop putting energy into it until you figure out this next thing. And that's totally okay. So, like, when you're doing your you're working for a little bit, and say, okay. And that part I can't figure out. I don't know. But that's just something, like, just do reflecting, and instead of stressing yourself out about it, just take action on it. And as we work ourselves down, like, I don't know, like, again, the whole education opportunity thing, like, that'll kind of all play itself out a little bit, because, like, hypothetically, if you end up doing the stuff with Jamie, then maybe you end up going to, like, you and Jamie end up going to a real estate radio guys conference, to meet people and network and learn. Like, that would be a thing you could do. That's kind of what that's around. And then civic involvement to get involved in. I think that's something that none of us really do a good job of. Just kind of like community service, getting involved in nonprofits. And that's something like, yeah, that's something like I can't keep kicking the can on. Like, it's just something I have to do this year. And it's something like, so, like, for example, Courtney and I, we don't go to church or synagogue. So it's like, Courtney had the idea of, like, hey, every Sunday, when people are going to church or synagogue, let's do a community service thing. Like, every Sunday, take all the kids, go do community service. And I think that's going to be ours. So, like, for that, and then for a career, it's just getting involved into a nonprofit or an organization that could, like, I could, use my experience and skills to help them. It's starting to look like I'm probably going to be on the board of the neighborhood association. So it's probably going to be my thing next year. It's kind of self-serving in a way, but at the same time, it's like, if I make my neighborhood good, there's a lot more people in my neighborhood than just me. That's probably going to be my thing. But, if I also have thought about getting into a few, like, I've been looking at some boards and things. Boards are hard to get on when you don't have any previous background and your resume doesn't show that you care about the community. They're like, oh, well. So there's that. So that's something, these are all just things to think about. And then, what do you need to do to be successful in 2024? I think that's the big one that you can have a, truthful talk with yourself about. It's like, what do you need to do to be successful in 2024? And only you are going to know. For Oak, for me and Garrett, because, like, my goal is to turn Garrett into a broker, like a badass broker, and for him to start taking on pretty much all of my stuff, me and him to be on every deal together, and he's the one who pretty much runs the show. And for right now, it's 80-20 me. I get 80% commission, he gets 20. The idea is, in a few years, is to flip that to where it's more like 75-25 him. But he earns it and he deserves it. And the goal is for me to bring in enough business that I can actually do it, that my 25% can turn into 6 figures. And it's really, the goal is 200. So the goal is for me to make 200 grand every year as a broker. It's not my full-time thing anymore. And it's more so Garrett running the show, but I've built a pipeline of business that I can filter through to him, and Light's going to end up being my best client. So Light's going to buy deals. Like my biggest commission check this year thus far was my own deal. Was a deal I bought across the street from the silos. That was my biggest commission check all year. So it's like, that was an eye-opening experience. So all right, go get more deals for Light and build, that's a whole process I have to build out. But then also for me and Garrett, it's build our pipeline. And the only way to build our pipeline is consistently prospecting. Like, if not every day, at least 3 days a week. Like, no negotiations. Like, that has to happen. And we're not doing that right now. And right now I'm basically being lenient on myself because, like, I have these twins and my life's chaotic right now with 3 kids under 3. And, Courtney's still kind of like not fully transitioned back to work yet. But when that happens, like, very soon, like, that's what I need to do to be successful in 2024 is just being consistent with my prospecting. That's it. That's the one thing. The next thing, what does success look like to you in 2024? One of the things that pops in my mind is just like being in shape, like getting back in shape, like just being a person where my lifestyle is just like I'm always in shape. I guess that's my lifestyle. Being more of a like quote unquote gym rat, but like just like a workout, just constantly like, yeah, it's like I got whatever it is. It's always being active. I just want that to be my type of person I am and my lifestyle. That, and then the BHAG, big hairy audacious goal. And for you, you actually have the big hairy audacious goal. It's like you want to be fucking financially free ASAP. So let's just say, but in 5 years, like that's your BHAG. You want to be financially free in 5 years. And you're the kind of guy who can break it down and like, okay, what does that mean? It's like, okay, I probably spend, in 5 years, like if my current monthly expenses are this much right now, maybe you add X amount to that. So, okay, my monthly expenses are probably going to be this in 5 years, and which means I need to make this. And you can reverse engineer that. So the question that you can't answer from this are, what do you need to do to be successful in 2024? What does success look like to you in 2024 in your BHAG? Those 3 you 1000% can't answer. And, maybe we hop on a call in a couple weeks to get those answers. And then the things to work on are the other ones. And the first one is picking that sector, which give yourself a couple months to figure it out. But like by Christmas of 2023, you will have picked it. And even it's never gonna feel 100% like, oh, I picked the perfect thing, because that's not how it works. You're gonna have doubt. You're gonna have days where it fucking sucks, and you're gonna have points where you fucking like, oh, you're have a self-talk, and you're like, fuck this, this isn't it. Stick with it, but you'll pick something by Christmas. I bet you'll pick something by Thanksgiving, to be honest, is my guess. We're gonna go into Thanksgiving, and you will have picked the thing, and you're gonna feel 70 to 60% confident about it, but you picked it, and there's a reason that your fucking gut picked it. So just trust it, and from that answer, you will figure out the other ones. And if we just keep it simple, pick 1 or 2 things to really hone in on this year, it's gonna be a fucking awesome year. That's it. That's what I got. I was honestly thinking about for a while. I mean, like, kind of got to a point where I was like, you know what? If there really is 1 or 2 people who actually listen to this thing, just like exploring with, like, I told Jamie that today. I was like, dude, well, I mean, I think we know the answer. It's like, well, I think we know what you need to do. It's like, when you're stressed, take action. He's like, fuck. He's like, you're absolutely right. That's exactly what I need to do. So, yeah, man. So, like, we don't even need to be talking anymore. Like, go do it. So, and we hung up because he's like, yeah, right. All right, man. I'm going. So, but the one thing that I've noticed, that kind of like difference between where Jamie and I are at, in terms of like quote unquote just kind of like momentum towards our goals. Because Jay is crushing it, but he just hasn't seen like the big payday yet. And that's where like the self-doubt and the can come in and get in your way and get in your head. But he's still like he's very very in terms of like, man, I'm not consistent enough. I'm not doing enough prospecting. I'm not doing enough whatever this or that. And he's like kind of like beating himself up like what I did for basically 5 years straight, which I think it's good for most critical. Like it's not a bad thing to be like your hardest critic, as long as you're your best cheerleader, which is like, but when you're constantly beating yourself up and you're like, fuck, I'm a piece of shit, like I didn't do this today or whatever, it's like that actually makes you less stiff. And this is kind of like from talking to Coach Todd, like we just kind of like, it took a year for me to figure this out, but it's like, dude, like you keep doing that to you keep like talking to yourself like that and keep like having like just like doing that to yourself. Like one, yeah, like you need to do the stuff, but it's like if you're not perfect every single day, like you just beating the shit out of yourself, it makes you less productive. It's not helping you at all. So it's just giving yourself, it's just like taking it easy on yourself. It's like don't have 2 bad days in a row. Like if you have a bad day, it's like, all right, well, fuck, that was a bad day, but tomorrow's not gonna be a bad day. And I think that's kind of where he's at that moment in time where he's kind of beating himself up when he's not having the perfect day. Like, dude, you just gotta give yourself a little bit of permission to, not be perfect and continue to figure it out. And as long as you're constantly moving forward, you'll be okay. And those who are moving forward and who are super focused and consistent, the more consistent and focused you are, the faster you move forward. The less consistent and the more just like, you're just dilly-dallying and not taking shit seriously, and like you're not doing the things, like the slower it's going to be. And I've seen it firsthand, like because it took me a while to figure shit out because I was like kind of all over the place trying to figure it out. And that's like, and I've seen some guys who like they came in fucking head down, like they grinded, they fucking pounded the phones and had a plan and studied and did all these things, and they were making fucking $300,000 in like 2 years. Everything's in your control. I mean, 2024 is gonna be a big year, big year. So, and I'm going to start training. I need to get back into training so I can beat your fucking ass in football in a month and a half. So it's also something I'm thinking about because I'm not in the greatest shape.
I need to get healthy again so I can start moving. I haven't exercised now in almost a week.
Well, all right. Well, get some rest, drink some water. Thanks for doing this with me.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me sign myself out of here. Love you, brother. Love you. I try to call you buddy, brother at the same time. Love you, brother. Talk to you later.
Love you, brother. Love you.